I'm going to start with the weekly. Hello everyone, I'm going to try and make this quick and not drag it on, and I'm just going to go over Bitcoin in a thorough way and just to highlight some risks associated with it and all the sort of combinations there are with Bitcoin at the moment. It's very difficult to figure out what's going on. So we need to look at the bigger picture and give you an insight to what the key levels are on updated version from the weekly perspective. And then I'll go into the daily and then the current price. And because it's not all bullish or what people like to, what it's coming down to is this week, really, in my mind. The weekly candle needs to close above the current level. And depends how it closes will determine how we go, because I'll explain, I suppose. Not because, but I'll explain why it's important that we look at the weekly. The weekly decides everything. The weekly decides if we're going to go down. Because the big boys and everyone else will look at the weekly, and there's key levels within the weekly. So let's have a look at the weekly. I'm going to try and explain certain aspects to it the best I can. It's not easy, and just bear with me. I suppose I can do the volume from here. Okay. So let's look at the weekly. What we need to do is look at the weekly from a fib perspective. It's from swing low to swing high. So our lowest point was here on the weekly, which is the highest point. Let me just change that around a bit because I need to make the one on the top. Okay. And now swing, where are we? There we are. Can we use that point? Well, that's our point there, right. Okay, looking at that, and I think I should split the screen just to make it easy, or I'll compare it to something else, okay? I don't want that. Let's go into the weekly on that one as well. So we're going to look at 2017 and pretty much the other ones as well, and look at what took place. Because it's a key, we kind of go with history. So my left is current, my right is 2019. Actually, I might just do this one first. So that was our bottom there. To our top. If I zoom in, look at this a sec. This is 2019. You'll notice, I'll get the colors right. So we came down. Let me just change that color. And then we went to the 618 level. And then we went down. So give me a sec. That's not what I want. I need a color on the background so it looks better. Make it darker so you can understand. So when price hit the top, came back down to the swing low and did not pass the weekly 0.618. And this is our barrier, the 618, on the weekly perspective, okay? And when price pulled back and bounced back up, it did not pass the 618, and what happened? It went down. Okay, now we look at the other one. So our swing low is there, and our swing high is there, and if we look at it properly, so let's get that right. You can pretty much say that level. Actually, this is a better point. Even on the macro level, let's just do the macro level first to make the point. So at the bottom, that's our top. If we look at the macro level and just push it across, how the 618 becomes important. So you can see the 618. Actually, I've got the log on, which is not what I wanted. The log doesn't help. So you can see when price came down, where is it? From the top, when price came down, it hit the 618 level on the weekly and came down. Okay. And then we look at the 2019 scenario. Similarly, just within this quadrant, from swing high to swing low to swing high, 0.618 was not passed. Depends on how you put it. If you put the log on, it's still the same, and log off, pretty much the same. So what we have here is a swing high to swing low to swing high. We need to pass this. So question is if this week doesn't close above it, so if this red candle doesn't go above it, was it saying, and depends how the candle closes come this Sunday, it could initiate a bearish move. And we need to watch that because we have this, obviously we have a number of levels of resistance, but this is the key level here. If we look at that, even though we popped our head up, this is a key level. If we were to just close above it, it doesn't have to be all the way up. We need to see this weekly close above it. And depending how this weekly closes, if it closes right underneath, it's going to be complicated. But if it closes above it, it's really positive. But if it closes much lower than, and say the 0.5, then we're going to be have problems with this Bitcoin rally. And then we can potentially see it come down. So at this point, I don't want to make that line, give people a perception that it's going to go down. It's not going to go down. What we want to see is price come down, up, and even if it hits here, that's fantastic, because then we have something to go with and potentially go that way. Here we've shown it's a reversal. Now let's look at from the weekly perspective on the top. So weekly we had, even though the wick was all the way down there, when price came down for the big top from a swing high, let me get that right, from a swing high all the way down to a swing low, you can either see the 0.618 become an issue. And when it didn't close above it, we came down. So how tolerant are we here is the question, if we don't close above it. And this is important, as I see it. So it's one of the things I want to highlight. Now, we can sort of close that up. So that's a weekly perspective. And what we need to make sure we watch. Now, there's no bearish or bullish bias. I'm just telling you the way it is. And the more the alts rally, the weaker Bitcoin becomes. So that's not good either, is it? So, all right, now let's go to the daily. And you can see how on the daily, how we almost got above it and then pulled down. So we were almost there. And so that white line I have, which really stems from here. Remember I said when price comes up and where it stops, when it's really rallying hard and it stops and finds resistance for some reason, it's a good area for a reference point. It's just a method that I picked up with a lot of traders. I don't know that if many do it, then it becomes reality, doesn't it? So this area here pretty much dictates a few things, which is one, a key level. Obviously, this is another key level. And the all-time high, we don't need to look at. So when you look at this chart, there are many levels to look at. And just on top of this, like you can see many wicks finding issues here. We did get a lot of rejection here. So that becomes right there. Actually, that's probably the reason why I got rejected, because of this area. So it's a difficult area to pass. So what we need to see with the weekly, pretty much close above this white line. Just give me a sec, I'll keep doing this. I'll need to get water. Okay, so where are we? So that's from a daily perspective. And if we turn on our daily moving averages, that's my daily 10 moving average. And that's my day. So I'm going to look for my weekly. That's my weekly moving average. So let's look at this. So if I go to a 4 hour, make it a bit more easy to understand. You can see this red line. This is a 10 weekly moving average. And if I was to, by the end of the week, this 10 moving weekly average, you can see how how it became support. The 10 weekly average came support there, and it became support there as well. And if you look at the formation, there's so many formations within this where it tells you why it's supported and why it's not. So we've got this trend line and the 10 weekly moving average, which gave it a strong response. So we're on the 4 hour chart. And so that was a good entry spot. And remember I was saying, if you've got a minimum of 2 elements, so we've got this trend line with confluence with the 10 weekly moving average, which was support here as well. And along here, you can see it's roughly support. And the third one now is the Fibonacci, this Fibonacci level. So we've got 3 elements. We had 3 elements to say buy, if you were to pick that up. I went along with, because of this moving average, this trend line, and I think it was a fib level that made me buy it, but I didn't realize the 10 weekly moving average was sort of forecasted towards that as well. So, and that's why it rallied really hard. When price dropped right on this level, you can see the candlestick just bang. You just gave 3 reasons why to buy. So that's a good strategy if you were to pick it up. Is it enough? That's the question. Now, I have another chart, and I'll bring that up. And looking at the current scenario. So I posted this video post today. And I talked about how price is coming up and where it finds resistance. So I can just hide some of this. And you can see the fib levels being relevant. And this structure is bullish in the micro in the 15 minute. So I do see price going up. Obviously, there's a resistance level here, a significant resistance. If price was to break that, then we're pretty much on our way up. So I have 2 scenarios here. One is to retest this trend line. So if it was to pull back, it will retest this and then potentially go up, or it continues on its way to the target, which is up to here, about 58,000, based on this structure. I have another chart, which I picked up accidentally. So there's another perspective of this. And it's really, as I said, it's very complex because there's a whole bunch of scenarios here. So this trend line, when I first was trading this, I noticed this, there was a channel that was going up. This was a channel. And that triangle broke down. So when it broke this trend line, we dropped to the 10 weekly moving average. So if I get that weekly moving average here again, that was it, where the red line is. The 10 weekly moving average was the support area, which I entered. And I got stopped out somewhere up top here. I thought I might keep going, but anyway, I made some profit there. And then I've re-entered here. And I'm just hoping I don't get stopped out. What you notice here, sorry about the husky voice, but not in my control. So I extended this line, and funny enough, you can see this why it became resistance right there, based on this trend line. I go, okay, that gave me an idea. So I extended this line. As you can see, it's a parallel line. So these lines, you might think it's crazy, but it's the way it works. Okay, so you can see when that broke, we went down, and this area became resistance similar to the previous trend line. Now, if I move this down, I'm using the parallel lines, right? If I use the bottom of that one, so now this is a bigger channel. So if I grab that and I'll make it into a channel, and I'll just extend it all the way up, you can see what happened here. When we broke this level, it dropped. And when price came up, it found it as a resistance and dropped. So that was, so if you play around with your lines and your trend lines, you will see certain aspects to price and where you can make trades. It's a lot of work. That's the problem. And you can see this moving average, this orange line, also had confluence with the trend line. So two elements made a good resistance. Maybe the trend line on its own wasn't, but that moving average, which is probably, which one is it? It's a 10 daily moving, 50 daily moving average. So the 50 daily moving average is important, and it's usually a good support area, and that became our additional resistance level. So that was a justification to drop. Now we're back here on the 10 weekly moving average. So if I get this up, okay, that is our 10 weekly moving average roughly, finding support. And we're going to have, we have that trend line as resistance, and now we get the Fibonacci, swing low to swing high. Almost a 618 level we're approaching. And what is it like to do? I do think it's going to be a strong resistance area, this one. So previous level was resistance. This moving 10 weekly moving average is probably the same level. And we've got the Fibonacci, so we are likely to get rejected. And where's it going to find support is the question. This might be a good level of support, because if you look to the left, that was previous support. So now that we've broke it, we broke this level, and we found resistance, we might be able to find support and continue on. So that is on the smaller picture time frame. And if you recall what I said in the past, we had the A, B, C correction, a deep correction. What we want to see is an A, B, C impulse to the upside. So far, it's looking like we're on target. And this is basically, if we were to continue this path, we're pretty much at this point looking like inverse head and shoulders up to a point. And the bar bump and run strategy is still working for us. And so if I was to see this 10 moving weekly average, I think it's, the 10 daily moving average. So if I was to just switch it on and off so you can see it, that one there, that could be a neckline for the inverse head and shoulders, in a way. However, we've got one more aspect. Now we've got that top level. we have that trend line as a resistance, and now you can see, now it makes sense even more. If price was to bounce, you can see where the resistance is going to come. It's going to be a strong resistance, right? So it's going to come down very close to a bottom formation, and there's a lot of reasons why it could be a reversal formation. So we definitely have resistance. We've got 1 point there, and you can say we can draw any one of these levels, and it's roughly similar. So I can get 2 levels from this. I can get this one here and swing it down. Usually there is 2 trend lines, one above the other, and I tend to plot them both. So you can see how, if this is a left shoulder type of thing, and this is the head level, and what's likely to do is get rejection. And if we see that kind of scenario, it might come down to this level. We might see it come down a fair bit, and this line just extended to a real pivot point, really. So we're going to see, while this is happening, the alts are going to go up and down a bit, and some are going to rally more than the others. I'm seeing this as a real significant level. Where we are now, we're going to get a squeeze. I can't see us breaking this level that easily. If we were to get this decisive breakthrough, then this will be used as support, and then we can potentially just go up. That'll be nice to see. So these are the scenarios that I'm playing in my head, looking at Bitcoin and the possibilities of what can take place. This is a bullish structure. There's the risk of that weekly thing I was talking about, where it can go down. This could be so if we were to, we'll clean the chart up a bit, but now I have some reference to the bottom as well. Okay, so it might not come down that far. Let's just clean this up a bit. So you can see it becomes complex, doesn't it? So I'm going to leave it at that. Those are the key. So the trend lines are pretty clear. The levels are pretty clear from the weekly perspective or the daily perspective, and you can't really. It's not a trend, is it? You can't really. ITTG, hello. It's not a really easy way to trade Bitcoin. So the only way you can trade Bitcoin at this point is better off with the alts, flipping back and forth, right? The only time I would say where you buy Bitcoin is along these levels. So this level that I explained has a lot of significance, and if I was to move that level continually there, you might play a role. It might not be this one, because this might not be the new low. It might be something like that, where then when it comes back down, I'm pushing this line forward, but it might come down a bit. It might actually level off like that, and therefore this could be the area to buy again. The scary part about this is you can see a potential head and shoulders come into play as well. So this formation is risky in both. It could be a downward type of structure, pushing it down. So we have at the moment, and we do our count. If I was to be a bullish count, I'll do this as A. That's my B. That is my C. That is likely to be my D, where I get resistance, and My E is anywhere here, anywhere. It could be there or there. So that is a bullish perspective I have for Bitcoin. And the net bearish perspective is that that's the left shoulder, that's a head. This is a bearish perspective. And we get a rejection and we'll go down. And then we break through this level. That will be the bearish perspective. So in my mind, where we are, depending where it is, we've got to get the lines properly when the time comes. That will be my exit strategy. If there will be a line soon formed from this, and I really want to do a good job on it. So let me just pull back a bit and see if there's anything else that I need to factor in for this trend line. Thank you. Appreciate your nice words. So, come on. We play all these scenarios because we need to plan. It's always it's never the one scenario. And the more you look at different approaches, you plan your steps ahead. So let's delete a few. I just want to get that line. See if there's anything that could help us with that line for our exit strategy. So if I was to get all these and just hide it a bit for the time being. Okay. So the fact that we passed this yellow line, I'm pretty happy with. And you can see the 10 daily moving average potentially playing resistance and this white line. So we need that white line to be broken on the weekly and stay past it on come end of Sunday. So that's one of my aspects. Now, let's look at, see if there's any trend line that's going to help us here. I'm trying to imagine, is that a trend line? And what we have currently, just 2 points. So that could be one. And if I was to get this line and just double it, just I could do that as well. So here, if price comes below this level, I think this is the one. Price comes below this, it's a goner. It's going to drop really hard, I think, because there's a lot of, you can see that there's a lot of connections to that line. And if we do the Fibonacci on that line at the macro level, so far it seems to be the case. If I do that, so that's our two, yeah, okay. So roughly, if this was to keep going sideways, our 382 level potentially could be our exit line. So if this keeps going sideways, I don't think this one's going to be, it's a bit too steep in my opinion. So this line might not be the one for the top. There could be another line. So I use this one first, right? And that was pretty much the main one for this bump and run strategy. Okay, that was our, so if I was to just squeeze it around a bit, this was an important line. So price broke this, it had a bit of resistance and it broke it. So that is positive. I don't have the top line yet. Maybe if I was to make this parallel, let's push this across, maybe that's more fair in the short term. Anyway, so I'm waffling on, but that's pretty much it. I'll keep that. I'm going to keep that as a reference. for future. I want to see how that goes. All right, now let's look at the total market cap, because I did say today that yesterday that was a candle that gave us the red, pretty much red everywhere, and today we pretty much came back above it. So that's a good rally. And so the double top at the moment is negated with this today's candlestick. And you can see how I had on my RSI, I had that orange line as resistance on the RSI, and it's broken above it, which is nice. So it's a bullish, well, the bullish candle pretty much negated that. So now the next level I do, for this bull market to continue, we have to break this level. So this RSI needs to break it. And if it does that, great. Because you can see how the RSI on the daily, on the total market cap, has been acting as resistance all the way through. So this is a key area for the bull market to continue. And if we get the total market cap above this, then it's great news, because it's been holding us back for a few times now. And you can see at this level, the total market cap, RSI, confluence with that level, confluence with that level. And if this continues up, it might be beautifully somewhat higher, wasn't it? So it's not, if this continues on, which it looks like, this total market cap is potentially going to be higher. I don't know exactly high, but do we have confluence with that in any way? So we got this line. No, sometimes you've got to ignore some peaks. So I'll put that line there for the time being. I'll ignore this little poke out and see how that goes. And if I get my channel, I'll get rid of the log. Actually, maybe without the log it's better. Let's look at that. This might be actually better without the log. Was to play that, yeah, that makes a bit more sense. So if this total market cap keeps going up, it might be this level here that we find resistance, which equates to this level here on the RSI, potentially. Yeah. What does that mean for Bitcoin? I got no idea. This was overextended, so we can ignore this one because the rest is pretty much nice straight line. So this total market cap potential could go up to here and then find resistance. And what does that mean for Bitcoin? I don't know, and the alts. But I do reckon, just like this one came up, found resistance, it pulled back a fair bit. And we're currently with the upward momentum, and if we hit it, it's either going to go that way or it's going to poke its head up and then go down, just like this. You can poke its head up and then go down. So that is a scenario I'm seeing. That's why this red line, this trend line on the total market cap is important. So I'm going to look at that perspective. And if you look at from the bottom perspective, it's actually a nice bullish formation. An expanding wedge or broadening wedge on the upside. So I'm looking at that as well. All right, so I'll cover that one pretty much. Let's look at DOT, because DOT was going good for me today. I've been accumulating, and okay, I think I did make a post on DOT, a video post just recently, and I'm basically on that, what I've said in the past with DOT, that these levels here this trend line was significant and it was acting as support. In my second last post, I said found support and just a bit of a fake out here. Probably liquidate some shorts. I'm not shorts, liquidate some stops, and then up it went. So with that, I'm seeing it going to this fib level, 0.5 fib level, because it has a lot of confluence as resistance. You can see along here. Interesting how from one trading view setting, where I have yellow, and I go to another chart, the stupid colors come across with it. Each color should stay with its own chart, but it doesn't. You know, so that's why I'm keep on changing colors. So there you go, that level there. There's a lot of connections, support and resistance, and then we got this low one here, which was support. So we found some resistance here, maybe from that wick there, this little wick there. Let's just do the auto setting, so you can see a bit closer, I suppose. Okay, so you can see how this trend line was an accumulation area, very good support area, very good area to jump into, and actually a bit of a bullish formation that took place. Anyway, moving here, we found initial resistance based on this level here. So just pull back, and I'm expecting to be a bull flag here, right under resistance. I don't expect it to come down. Well, it really depends on Bitcoin, right? If it doesn't do anything drastic. So I do see this area just a bit of a pause. And then we hit the main resistance level, which is the 0.5 fib level. This 382 level, that's going to be probably also, and it's already acted like support. You can see the wick. Why is the order not working? That's better. I'm trying. It's just laggish now. I think it's because of video streaming. It's making it laggish. So you can see this black one that pulled back to the 382 level, and we found support, and then pretty much up. So that was a good buy spot with the pullback. Now I'm expecting to see some bull flag, some little formation, a continuation pattern here under resistance. I'll push that down. That is resistance for the time being, and it's stemming from around from the left side. Like actually, that red line is pretty good there, because you can see right here. Very slow. And so that from that point, you can see how it comes across as resistance here. I'd like to see a decisive break through the 0.5 level. Otherwise, we're going to see potentially a bigger pause, I suppose, an area where we might find another bull flag or a reversal. It could still do that. But I'm looking to go to the top side of this. So a bit of consolidation here, potentially, or a reversal. But at the moment, that was the thesis. It would not surprise me for it to come down. Dot is not easily understood. But if you look at the structure, we've done 3 triple bottoms. I can't see it coming down anymore to this level. Doesn't make sense. And this mid level is already being tested, and now it's acting as support. So with this mid level, where the fib level is already support. So it can shake. There might be a bit of a shakeout here as it's trying to get to the top, but I'm expecting this one here where I did the red scribbles. I reckon this area is going to be a shakeout area, and then once it breaks that level, and I would say you should trade it. I'm going to hold my coins from where I just started, and DOT will have its season if Bitcoin continues to go up. Manato, nice to meet you. Hello, peace. So that's DOT for me. And there is, on the small time frame, you can see where you can potentially get into DOT, but and that red line, if it drops below that red line, once you enter, I would use that as, so look at the fib levels and use them as your stop loss areas. Okay, so that's DOT. Let's move on. Okay, hi, Sayed. When would you start? Okay, just looked at the YouTube comments. Just want to make sure I don't miss any comments from both platforms. All right, so moving on. Give me a sec. People talk up BNB a fair bit because of Binance. Picking up from what I spoke last time, that grey level here was our spot to look for as support, and it's done it. It's been tested a fair bit, so I'm going to see what is likely to do is probably a descending triangle, and again I have to change the color. If it breaks, so the formation is pretty much, we've got the bottom there, and that's acting as support, and it might do a few bounces before it breaks up to the outside. Okay, I do expect this level to hold, and then we'll reach my target of 750 as the first target based on this macro structure, which is an ascending triangle or double, yeah, or whatever it is. I am aware though that this is a bit of a bearish divergence, so we need to keep an eye on that. That's why I expect this to go sideways for the time being, and if this goes downwards, then we might lose this level. So my stop loss will be here. So just underneath that area, I'll put my stop loss roughly around here, and then take it from there, because potentially this should keep going and negate that level. I can see here on my right against Bitcoin, it's doing well, but you can see on my right against Bitcoin, it's come to a resistance point a few times, and that's a bearish candle. But we'll see what happens. But if I was to flip, it will be when it breaks this level, this black line, that I will flip my Binance back to Bitcoin, and my strategy is to accumulate more Bitcoin. So that's the reason. So that's Binance, and I'll just pretty much highlight what to look out for. Okay, what else do I have to look at? So I did DOT. Now I'm going to do Link. I did also do a Link update today. I believe so. What I'm going to do while I do this, I'm going to save certain things and just close them. Okay, so I'm just going to close this one, just get some grunt into my machine. And I'll save Binance just on that. Close that. So this is link on the 5-minute chart. So I did see a breakdown from there, just in the 5-minute, and so I do see support where the orange line is, and it's pretty much close to that. For the short term, there is downward pressure for Link. Now let's look at the bigger picture. Link is very different to the other charts, like say Bitcoin and so on. And I believe I posted this. Yeah, I did post this. And I did say there was going to be resistance there. And if you look on the 5-minute chart, that was that line there when I was looking at it. And he gave me the reason why that was going to be resistance, didn't I? So there was an ascending wedge here, and that pretty much green line gave it the reason to drop. It's funny how things work out there that way. So as you approach a resistance level, there's a structural formation that tells you that's what's going to break down. So I had this scenario. That green line is very, very relevant because it goes all the way through, and that's why there was a like spot on rejection because of this green line. And I was watching it, and therefore I shorted it. I didn't sell my long-term Link. No, what I did is I just closed my long for my short trade, which high leverage. I just closed it and made my profit there. And now I'm expecting a bit of a retest on this orange line because we've got 2 points to it, actually 3 points. So it should hold. So I'm talking about this orange line. It's got 3 points, and that's, remember I said three touches is confirmation. It's relevant. So I'm expecting this level to hold, and I'm also expecting this level to be resistance. So this is and you can see a broadening wedge is a bullish formation. Yeah, and that's what I expected here. Maybe it could be a triangle. We'll see. But overall, what I'd like to see is a consolidation here for a while, and we need to see this hold. If it breaks below this, I'll see this level as support, which is that previous target, and then we could probably see other things take place. But I would put my stop loss underneath that. If it was to break down, then I would re-enter at this level. So yeah, I don't see Link coming down at all. But if for it to come down there, obviously Bitcoin has to do something drastic. Yep. For the time being, you see on a lot of people are going Link bullish, and it was a good. Well, this structure broadening wedge was a reason, and you got a bit of an invert head and shoulders, and you can see my black line. Tell the truth, this was perfectly as well. That the height of this broadening wedge, you can see, I just applied it to the breakout. It also gave me the reason to stop sell, but I don't know how much it's going to pull back. So everything fits into each other as pieces. So it's right here now. It's looking bullish and continue to the upside. Do we need to look at the bigger picture? Well, let's have a look at quick weekly. Let's have a weekly look at what's Link doing. And yeah, so you can see what it's done, right? So the weekly closed slightly above, and that's why this week is on really strong. So from a weekly perspective, let's figure out where we're going with this. Can we find any? So what we had here was this. Realistically, that's pretty bullish on a weekly, right? Fantastic, actually. So now this could be really bullish. I think Ethereum did something similar. We'll come back to Ethereum, but that trend line to close above it on the weekly is fantastic. So I've flipped a fair bit of my Bitcoin to link. I might just up while it consolidates, and I'll look at it. I need to time it. So the strategy is to time it where if it pulls back, you don't lose more Bitcoin. So I've entered it at the right spot. I've entered DOT, Link, and Ethereum, obviously. And now the question is, how do I manage those accounts? It does your head in a bit. If you're great, if you're expert, you can't get it perfect. It's too hard. But this gives me reason. So right here, if I delete all that, you can see how that's working out. A beautiful breakout. Now let's have a Fibonacci swing low to swing high from there to there, and back to the swing low. And let's see where we're going with this. Okay. So I'm using this wick. I don't know if I should, but in a way I probably should, because this is that level is relevant. So I'm using that wick for my swing low to swing high and back to low. And the 7/8, let's see, if we do that, it's got to be perfect, right? That one could be the resistance, which is about $52. Let's just delete that. I don't need that. Can I use another scenario? Let's see. All right, let's do this. From the bottom to the top. Yeah, they're both in agreement. So they're both agreeing that $52 is the target. Did it fall short? Just fell short of it, didn't it? Did I miss something? Is it this one here? No. That is pretty much it. So I do think $52 is the target, but that trend line, I think, did the job. The green line, remember what I was talking about? So where do we go from here? Well, if you're familiar with making targets, one is the first target. Generally, one pivot extension is the target, and then one of these three is the next. So it could be anywhere within that range from $60 to $70 could be the immediate target. Then, if it's still bullish, if we're really in a big bull market and Link is going to do what Ethereum did, then we've got the 2.618, which is about $99 at the moment. So once we break this 1.618, the 2.618 will be our next target if everything goes well, if Bitcoin continues on. And there is a party pooper. If Bitcoin does drop down, then you can forget all that. So the weekly is looking good. And you can see a bit of a pullback, and I would expect it probably to pull back down to this 786 fib level, which is about $46, and currently it's 47. Okay, so that's Link. Let's go to Litecoin. I've got Litecoin on the weekly here, and I did touch this in the past. Litecoin on the weekly is doing well against Bitcoin. So what we had was a few key levels, and I said if it breaks this level, then I'll enter. So I did enter. So I have this channel, mid channel, and it broke. So we had resistance, as you can see, based on that, and this reversal structure. Now it's turning out to be. I'm seeing Litecoin hitting that top level there, right here, either here or there against Bitcoin. So Litecoin is going to do well against Bitcoin, and we have on the weekly, looking at the indicators, it's still upward momentum. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that. Litecoin on its own. So let me say that. What happened to my music? Okay, so it's the end of it, that's why. Okay, so let's go to Litecoin. I think I'm taking too long here. Fine. Okay. So that is Litecoin on the okay, look at that. This is probably not the best chart. Litecoin. Which one has the history? Is it Coinbase? Coinbase might have the history. No. Okay, Litecoin did. So we almost hit to the all-time high. I didn't know that. So we're going to find, like, if you look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, where what happened was we found a fair bit of resistance. So Litecoin's almost done for this episode. And what I expect pretty much for Litecoin is a decisive breakthrough. It's still bullish. I can see here on the wick, it's still bullish. It's got momentum, but you got to be realistic. It might wick up. So that's the wick, and the body of the candle is that level there. Okay. So it's broken the initial resistance, body of the candle. It could potentially pull back just below that. And actually, Litecoin is pretty nice. You can see where you should have entered Litecoin right there to go along. You can see how this trend line was on consolidation just below resistance. And when it broke it, you can see the acceleration. So now we're in pretty much a zone for Litecoin where it probably doesn't make sense to enter. Yeah. You want to see either break, you want to see the pullback somewhere. You want to see a nice pullback. So let's look on the daily now. So yep, okay. So we did get resistance on that daily resistance there. You can see. So remember this week. This is my weekly. That's my weekly resistance template. So let's just. Okay. So when it did actually respect that weekly body candle, initially it found as resistance, then a nice pullback. Now it's progressing. So now it's going to go to this wick here, which is about $413. Actually, it might be this intermediate one as well. So this one here, that might be the next level, which is 377. So it's still all right. We've got another $30 to go up, and then you might find some resistance, pull back to this. So yeah, let's play it out. So it's likely to go there, pull back, find support, and then we see this probably consolidation before it breaks up. Maybe a retest, and then up it goes. If Bitcoin is still, it's all dependent on Bitcoin. But yeah, that's my Litecoin prognosis, if you want to say. And once it does that, it's gonna skyrocket. We need to see it come back down. So liquidity for Litecoin. Let's look at Ethereum, and you'll see that alignment. Okay, so that's a link for now. And what I'll do is I'll go to Ethereum, and I give that relevance to it. So give me a sec, get the weekly out. Let's look at Ethereum on the weekly. I want to make it a bit quicker. So this is where Ethereum reached its all-time high. So if we were to, okay, let's do this. So remember we're talking about big Litecoin. The body of the candle was there. And what you see, this is what I believe Litecoin's going to do. It got resistance here. You can see Ethereum got resistance there, pulled back really deep. Actually did much. Litecoin didn't do as bad. So Ethereum pulled back really back all the way here to this level. And then got the momentum to break through this all-time high. And then you can see a week of trying to hold that level. Bit of a pullback and so on with this top level resistance. And you're seeing price action in between that area. Just a lot of rubbish. And then when it cleared it, when I held that level, so I would put my buys at the low, like somewhere below where it's coming down, pick up liquidity and up it goes. So Litecoin will do that. And once it does, you can see what it did. It hits a target and then pulls back right back to the previous all-time high. So I think Litecoin will do something similar. And that will be your second entry to buy and keep going up. Makes sense? So I'm looking at Litecoin doing something similar. Where are we? There we are. So yeah. And we can do that later, find out the targets and so on with the fib extensions, but I do expect it to go up, come back down, retest it, and then go back up if Bitcoin continues to go on. Neo. So I had Neo doing this. This was my late adjustment. So Neo had a nice run, a build up, and then a real accelerate upwards, and then a real deep pullback. Now it's found this trend line. I've got two trend lines at the moment. And my rules were, I had the rule of I'll enter one of these trend lines. And I missed it. I missed that entry. And what I'm expecting now is support on the 382, as you can see. So the fib levels are good. And I'll look at, I'll get rid of the, I don't need that. Just makes it a bit ugly to understand. There you go. So Neo, you can argue Neo's did two formations. That was another one as well. And if that's the structure, it's a nice structure. We've got a bit more to go from there to this level, which makes sense because that was a good strong resistance level. And what I'm expecting from there from that is another big formation, really. Pretty much it's not going to be going really quick anywhere soon. It can do that, or you can do the A, B, C, D, E type of thing, and then up there. So this level is going to be strong resistance, and I would trade this once it breaks it. So yeah, there's a good entry there. Look, you can see how much support and resistance there is. So that's a good area to buy. Pull back and then up it goes. I would trade this as based on the time frame. So there is a, yeah, I can see this coming down like that. A bit of a consolidation before it goes up. So that's Neo at the moment. And potentially it could continue on towards making another double top, hitting the all-time high as well. And I had that channel, didn't I? So if I do that channel, no, that's not what I wanted. So if I get that channel, let's see. Okay, I didn't want to do that much. And so if I get that channel, I need to use one of these channels. You can sort of also use this as a scenario where you can gauge pretty much. Okay, that's it, and you can see why there was resistance. It's a mid part of the channel, and it's not. You can use this channel as your training method to finding support and on, because what we said here, it did it here as well. There was a channel. I think that was it. Let me just bring this down a bit. You can see how Neo really just grinds away on that bottom trend line. Many times it's done that. You can see how it just grinds, touches here, and then up it goes. So it could be something like that, where we see this triangle here, for instance. We've got this triangle here, and we might have something similar to that here. You can have a bullish formation. Why am I doing that? Yeah. So that's the top. Just keep an eye on it. There could be another bullish formation for a breakout along that line. So that's my Neo prognosis. Yeah, so did you do ETH yet? Yes, I did. I did Ethereum. I believe I did it. Yeah, I did. Hold on. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Sorry. No, I didn't do Ethereum. So let's go to Ethereum now. Where are we? So I posted this today. A diamond formation, which is confusing, but a diamond formation is pretty much a reversal formation or continuation formation, and you tell me which way is it going to go. This was my line in the sand, the middle part, and where is it? Right in the stupid middle. So it's not making it easy to work it out. I thought once this was above this level, that will continue on, and you can see how it pulled back a bit. So it's not making it easy to figure it out. But do I need to talk about the history? No, probably not. The history is pretty clear. Once it broke that channel and held it, it went up. Now the question is, will it go retest? It's possible to come down to retest this, but I just see this as a continuation pattern, to tell the truth. It's just not easily understood. So what am I on? I'm on the 4 hour, right? The 4 hour basically here is told us with the MACD, this crossover, it's a bit of a pullback. But it could easily turn around, right? So that was that. I suppose the MACD is always a bit lagging. That black red candle pulled it back, and now we're going sideways. I think there's another formation taking place, but I can't see what it is. So let's look on the 12 hour, and then you look at the 12 hour, and you can see the MACD is still bullish. It's leveled off a bit, but it's more likely to go. So let's look at this on a moving average perspective. Let's see. Let me put my moving average. No, so it's not the 12. 8 hour, no. 6 hour. Okay. 6. No, so the 4 hours is pretty much it. Let's clear all that. So looking at that, you can see that the 4 hour moving average was our support, and is still our support. So I have a gut feeling that diamond formation is not relevant anymore. Yeah, so I can rule that out. This is the resistance here. So what I'll do, let me pick another chart. Ethereum, USD, which will be cleaner. I'll go to Coinbase. All right, that's better. I think this is what's happening. Clear resistance, and what's happening is we have a clear support at the moment. So I would buy every time it touches that line. I will buy, and what I think it's doing is it's using this moving average to just grind away at it. So it's likely we'll probably get a triangle of some sort along with this average moving average continuing on, and so we have price just fluctuating and then a pivot and then up. That's what I reckon is going to happen. People say I couldn't see the chart. I'm not sure what you mean, because others are seeing it. Go to YouTube if you're having problems, and the link's there. Let me look at the YouTube link. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the YouTube link and see what you guys are seeing. Can't tell. So let's just resyncing it. Okay. Not sure if anyone else is having problems looking at the screen. So so that's a 4-hour perspective for current price. If we were to break that 10-20 moving average, then it's likely that we go onto the 8-hour chart, and then I would use that. Where is it? Let's put that in there. Put those lines in, make them dark. And I'll put the 20. So if we were to lose that 10-20 moving average on the 4-hour, or if we lose this, then we go to the 8-hour, and then we can expect somewhere in here is the next support level. And just playing the scenario out, where are we? I would use this level, and I would say that it goes back down to close to 3,070 if we were to lose this, from 3,130 to 3,070. If we were to lose this, that's your likely entrance point. I'm just playing one scenario against the other. So currently we had a strong resistance, right? So why we're here? Let's look at it. I think I explained why we're there. Let's see, Ethereum, USDT. I had it on this chart, didn't I? Not really. So let's look at daily. Come on. Come on, you crap. Okay. Let's see why we find resistance here. I need to fix up my chart a bit. I thought it would be the next level up, to tell the truth. 3,600, not here. So I can get rid of that. Get rid of that. So let's look at this. Why are we having resistance? Swing low, swing high, to swing low. Okay. I was to pick that bottom. Yeah. All right. So if I was to hide the others, I don't know where they are. If I was to hide that, and if I was to hide that, where is it? It's on here. If I was to hide that as well, you can see when I did my swing low to swing high, I'm at the 1.414 level. So that was a target. So I might use this fib extension to find my next target, which is still the same, which is 3,640. So if price was to break that, I will go. So we have levels. So if we were to use this level, so the 1.618 is the hard one, 3,600. And if we were to break that, potentially far out, 4,600. Well, 4,000 first, and then 4,600 next. Far out, that's pretty good. Better time it. So let's look at Ethereum Bitcoin pairing if we haven't done it. Okay, so let me just save this. Okay, so Ethereum, I did sell my Ethereum a bit to Bitcoin because I see it coming down. Come on. How low would it come? So obviously it's hit a target on mine. I can see that black line here. So that was a target or something. I can't remember what I did, tell the truth. I know I did it. Okay, so my fib extension 382. So where do I get that from? The bigger picture. All right, here we go. Okay, I did post this. That was my target 382. So you can see the response on Bitcoin pairing against Ethereum. There was a pushback from that level, the fib level, for this macro level. So it's got, based on this structure, I did say that this is my target, which is another fair bit of percentage. That's one of my targets anyway, which is around here. But it's very possible they could overperform and go to this level here. So we're in the early midst. This was a perfect area to enter. Look at that. So it broke this bump and run strategy, retested it twice, and then off it goes. So along the way, potentially, but go along with Ethereum. Just got to time your sells. When you hit these fib levels, my suggestion is you flip back to Bitcoin. If it's to continue with this trend, I would do that. This could potentially come down to this channel, top of this channel, retest and then go. So what does that mean for Bitcoin? I'm not sure what that means. But let's look at Bitcoin for a sec. Okay. What time frame is this? 4 hours. Give me a sec. I want to see how my trade's going. Oh, good beauty. So where am I here? Some people don't trade Bitcoin, but you got to. Like here's my trade, just so that you know. That's where I entered Bitcoin again. Beautiful. Now I'm up. So Bitcoin gives you many chances to trade. I just see people talking about alts all the time. Bitcoin it's easy to read up to a point, so don't miss out. So here's remember we're talking about the key level for Bitcoin. This is the key level. So we need to see it pass here. If it passes it this weekend, that's going to be fantastic. That means all the stuff we talked about, the alts, are going to continue on potentially. So and the response of Bitcoin at this point is fantastic. I'm pretty happy because I don't want to see the bull market. I don't want to see the bull run go. Have all these negative thoughts. But anyway, so that's back to Ethereum. So that's why I think Ethereum is dropping against Bitcoin. Ethereum is going sideways, Bitcoin is going up. So we get that pullback. Makes sense, doesn't it? All right, Dodge. I did post this Dodge. I didn't mention it, but I'm going to look at it. Okay, I should have shortened it. I missed it. So Dodge is, you can't ignore it. I don't like the bloody thing, but I'm not going to lose an opportunity. I did say this is going to be a bull flag, and where am I? Let's go to my post. Let's see what I was thinking for Dodge. Man, I should get paid for you guys. So for some that follow me and follow, I'm not getting it wrong, not much. So like Dodge today, this was a good tip off, right? So if you bought here, as I said, and I'll play this forward. So it hit, obviously it got stopped at my second target, pulled back, and then continue on. Now it's pulling back. So that's a good percentage. It gives it to you. Sometimes Dodge is easy to read. Just got to be at the right place at the right time. What's it going to do now? Well, it's not just going to pull back all the way down here, no. But you can see how we had a bearish divergence on the 4 hour. So Dodge had a bit of a bearish divergence while the price was going up. RSI was dropping down. Now what we have here, actually, you can see this now. If Dodge holds this level, the RSI level, which is right there now, it can continue. If it drops below there, and then it's going to come down a fair bit. So how do you trade Dodge? I think we're moving using the 10. No, we need the 10-20. I think that, yeah, I think the 4 hour chart will be good. I think Dodge, I'll be looking for, if I was to enter Dodge, I'll be looking somewhere around here. Do a pullback to that level. Maybe the 2 hour, give us a look. Okay, 2 hours probably better. So I'll look at this 2 hour, see what happens. Look for the bullish candle. At the moment, you can see on the 2 hour RSI, it's actually broken down, hasn't it? So that's well, this could thing with these RSIs in 2 hours that could just disappear and be back up again. So I'll be watching the 2 hour on this level right here and look for a bullish candle or combination to re-enter. So there is so what do we have here with Dodge? From here, we got a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, higher low, and we continue on. High, high, higher low, high, high, higher low, high, high, higher low, and potentially much more. So Dodge is giving a good trend, and I would continue with it. Go with the trend. And now just look for this bullish formation, a bullish candle on the 2 hour. Yeah, 2 hour, and maybe the 4, if need be, depending on what the candles look like. You have the opportunity. Okay, Dash. I want to look at Dash. I'm an idiot. I didn't take the trade. I kept watching it. I don't know. Wasn't concentrating, but that was the level to jump. Once it broke that level, that was the level to jump in. Now it's a bit. So you can see that MACD is just very bullish. So now that we've got this top level, along with that, I'm not interested in getting. I'd like to see a pullback, whatever that time frame is, and I would. How much would it continue on? I think so. I think it will consolidate just underneath, and then break up. It's alt season. So the MACD is looking fantastic. So even though we've got this double top, the MACD is pretty much saying you couldn't ignore it, and this indicator as well at this point. So I think it's going to continue on. So Dash is a good prospect as well. What didn't we cover? ADA. So I had some hopes for ADA. Bloody, you know when ADA gets going, it's going to fly, right? But I did talk about this lie, and you can see all along it's acting as resistance. Right here, it acted as resistance again. I thought this formation will break it up. Yeah, so I think this would continue. I thought this might be a method. So if we put this level here, so we've got two levels of resistance, the horizontal, based on this fib level, isn't it? So let's clean that up. So if I get this fib level extension, come on, give me that. Where am I? I'll move that across. I don't know how I got that out last time. Where is it? Where did I get that from? Can't remember. Okay, so it's there. No, that's not right. I should do that. To the top. Okay. No, I had that for a reason. I can't remember why. I won't touch it. It's making sense still. So yeah, this was a good spot to buy. You can see the concentration of the candles and the break. I think it will continue. I think it will grind away at this resistance and eventually break it. What I see here is another trend line along that trend line there. Just got broken. Okay, you can even pick that level there. Either way, that trend line is broken. It's popped its head out. So now it's in this tight. We've got resistance on top and we've got support on the bottom. So we're in between, similar to the other coin I was speaking last time. So it's potentially, it's building up. ADA's taking its time, but it's building up. I don't have no ADA yet. I haven't bought it. I'd rather put my money in something else at the time being. So that's my prognosis. ADA against Ethereum. I noticed ADA going up when I was looking at ADA against Ethereum. I wasn't watching ADA. And then I heard that bounce. And then I go, what the hell? What's going on? ADA's moving. So ADA against Ethereum, ADA might just bounce a little bit, but we'll see. Keep an eye on which one's better. But I wouldn't go into Ethereum ADA until I wouldn't flip my Ethereum to ADA until I see something significant moving here on the daily. I like to see this go above the 50%. If I was to consider ADA against Ethereum, I would like to see it go across this level before I jump in. Anyway, that's ADA and Ethereum. We covered Link, Neo, Dodge, Dash, RUNE. RUNE starting to move. I had my lines wrong, but this is what I see now. So, and a broadening wedge, you can say Livermore structure, whatever you want to call it, but it's really, it's bullish now. So Thor chain. How's that for you? So you can see, get my text there, come on. Come on. You can see this level, resistance, and then it acted as support. Come on, we just saw, what was the other coin that did that? Can't recall which one. It did the same, and then up it went. So this is going to go. Don't miss out. So that's my thoughts on RUNE or Thought Chain. And yeah, your stop limit, we should be under that purple level, I suppose. So I did buy RUNE, and Bitcoin is moving nicely. Like I said, Bitcoin is potentially breaking that level. Nice. So go back to Bitcoin for a sec. There you go. It's good news. Hopefully it holds. So the yellow line is the next. This is fantastic. All right. So ETC, this one surprised me how it's going. Far out. Missed it. Should put an alert on it. Far out. Freaking missed that one. I don't have much money left to buy anything anyway. It's all bloody tied up. But that was a good breakout. So fuck. There's nothing to talk about. It's gone. What's Cake doing? I suppose that's gone as well. Not yet. All right. There's not much to talk about Cake. I've got a key line, so let me get rid of that. This was temporarily, so I'll put that there. So Cake is, in my opinion, doing a bull flag. And if I find support on the next, on this bottom trend line, and you see starting to move up, I would enter, because it's done pretty much two touches to the bottom. Third touch, yeah, I see it going up with the alts. So that's Cake. I wasn't planning to do anything else really. Comp is breaking down. Hot. I was watching Hot. So it bounced. Yeah, it might continue. I would enter Hot with this trend line breaking. I just like the structure that's taking place. So I'm just going to put an alert on that and let me know. And this time I'm going to put a sound on it. Come on, play a sound. All right. Actually, maybe I can't do SMS. Send an email to SMS. Oh, okay. I'll have a look at that one. Theta, disappointing. Let's see what it's doing. Yeah, so Theta, if Theta passes this level, and I got my other level, I better push that across that. I've got an alert on that one. If Theta passes that line, I'm interested. So how it broke it once, pulled back deep. The fact that it broke it once is already weakened it. It could break it the second time and go. So I've got my alert set on this line, and I want to know when it breaks it, because it's likely Theta could do a big move. You could see this inverted head and shoulders type of thing, and my target is there. So once that breaks, it's pretty much time to enter Theta. The only thing is this trend line could be resistance. Yeah, it will be resistance, but how much of resistance and how long? So anyway, that's Theta for me. Sol is, I haven't looked at Sol for a while. Sol against BTC is still up there, but I can see on the 12-hour that the MACD is still downward pressure. So no interest in Sol. Waves. I want to short this. I bloody missed it because it really hit really high, and can this pull back? Don't know. Against Bitcoin, it's pulled back a fair bit, but I like to see a formation I recognise before I jump in. I don't recognise anything there yet. All I see is a fair bit of wicks on the top, downward pressure, and pretty much it. And guys, I think I'll look at VET, and that's pretty much it. I'm done. Okay, so VET's going sideways, nothing there to talk about. I think it's going to break up to the upside, just the way it's holding its ground. See what VET did here on the left? Come on. I see if VET, over here on the left, VET pretty much went sideways a fair bit. Come on, give me something. Try it. So this sideways motion, and then it starts to pick up momentum, and that's where you want to see. Well, I use my strategy to identify that. I won't tell you what it is. So those who follow me know some of my tricks, and it's on the chart. I'll use that, but it's getting close to it. I think VET's getting close to a breakout. I would look at this wave trend. So you see how wave trend went up above zero, pull back, and if it turns around with a crossover, it's a bullish sign. Already got my other indicator already going up. So I think VET's going to break up soon. It's already established its accumulation area. I'm not letting go of my VET anytime soon, but I think it's going to go up as well. It might do just another dip and buy that dip. And yeah, so it could do another small dip, and then potentially bang up. Whenever you see price drop, what tends to happen is it accelerates. So buying the dip is usually good on an uptrend. And that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up for there. I'm going to go to the toilet, take a break, have tea, and go with that. All right. Hopefully it's informative. Hopefully you got some tips from that. Someone asked me last time, do you have a donation address? There you go. I have Ethereum address. You can put USDT there, whatever you want. I appreciate any donation. Just it's not words alone. Sometimes it's good to just see people, $5, $2, whatever it is. I just like the idea of someone giving me a tip. It's rewarding. Anyway, I'll leave it at that, and I'll work on my website next, and I'll try and get that finished. So have a good time. I'll talk to you next time. Cheers. Bye.